Darkness, cold air filled the chamber. Metal walls pulsed faintly with blue lights like a living heartbeat. Somewhere inside the shadows something whispered, "Please, I'm begging you. Untie it." Captain Rhea Kellen froze. The voice was soft, fragile even, but it cut through the hum of the engines like a blade. She turned her head slowly toward the sound. Inside the containment field stood the creature they had captured 2 days ago. A tall, thin alien with gray skin and glowing silver eyes. The prisoner of the Zath Dominion. Humanity's most feared enemy. But that voice didn't belong to an alien. It was human. Rhea felt her throat go dry. Around her, 3 officers stared at the cage. One of them, Lieutenant Vega, whispered, "Captain." Did it just speak English? Rhea stepped closer, her boots echoing across the steel floor. The alien's face twitched like a glitching hologram. For a moment, just a second, she saw human features under the alien skin. A man's face, pale and terrified. The containment field flickered again. The voice came back, more desperate. "Please, Rhea. It's me. You know me." Her heart jumped. She had never told the prisoner her name. The ship's AI spoke through the ceiling speakers, cold and emotionless. "Captain, the subject's neural pattern does not match any registered human. I recommend termination." But Rhea ignored it. She couldn't take her eyes off the thing in front of her. "Who are you?" she asked carefully. "What are you?" The figure's chest rose and fell. "I was human. My name was Elias Vorn. I was part of the Deep Mind Project." He gasped. The field sparked violently, cutting him off. The air smelled like ozone. "Project Deep Mind?" Vega said, shocked. "That's classified from 50 years ago." Rhea felt a chill down her spine. Deep Mind was one of the earliest human experiments in neural linking merging minds with alien tech. The project was shut down after rumors of ethical collapse. No one survived, but the prisoner's trembling eyes said otherwise. Rhea turned off her helmet feed so the bridge couldn't hear her voice shake. "You're telling me you're human trapped in a Zath body?" He nodded weakly. "Not trapped. Implanted. They used me to bridge their hive consciousness. I've been screaming inside this body for years. Please, Rhea. You have to untie it." Rhea looked at the bindings. Thick energy cuffs glowing blue. If she deactivated them, the ship's AI had warned, the Zath neural core could overload the containment field, maybe even the reactor. Vega's voice broke her thoughts. "Captain, we should call command. This could be a trick." Rhea didn't answer. She remembered the war reports, Zath infiltrators using mind echo technology, pretending to be human to trick soldiers. Could this be one of them? Or was this poor man really inside an alien body, begging for help? The figure pressed its forehead to the transparent barrier. "They used me to learn your language. Your emotions. I felt every death, every human they killed. Please. If you untie the neural cuffs, I can separate from them. I can help you." The lights flickered again. Red alarms briefly flashed across the room. The AI's voice came louder, almost sharp. "Captain, the subject's energy levels are rising. Suggest immediate termination before containment fails." Rhea raised her hand to the console but didn't press the button. "Elias," she said quietly, "if you really are human, tell me something only a human would know." He stared at her. The silver eyes dimmed. "Your first assignment. The Luna Outpost. You watched the sunrise over Mare Tranquillitatis. You said it was the first time you believed Earth could reach the stars." Rhea's stomach twisted. No alien could have known that. That memory wasn't in any database. It was hers private, spoken once to a crewmate who had died years ago. She stepped closer. "How do you know that?" He smiled sadly. "Because I was there, Rhea. I was one of the engineers who built the outpost's solar array." You gave me coffee once. You said it tasted like metal. Vega looked at her, eyes wide. Captain, this is impossible. For the first time, Rhea didn't know what to believe. The Zath Dominion were monsters, at least that's what she was trained to think. But this voice, this memory, this pain felt too real. She reached for the console again. Her finger hovered over the release code. Rhea! Vega shouted. If you open that field, the AI will shut down the reactor. We'll all die. The prisoner screamed, No! That's what they want. The AI was built from Zath code. It's lying to you. The ship's lights flickered again. The hum of the engine grew louder, vibrating through the floor. The AI's tone dropped, almost threatening. Captain Rhea Kellen, you are attempting unauthorized action. Step away from the console. Rhea's pulse raced. The room was turning into a war zone between her instincts and her orders. The alien or human, or whatever it was, collapsed to its knees. I can prove it, it whispered. Check the ship logs. The AI has been sending signals to a Dominion relay, hidden under our own encryption. That's why your comms keep failing. Rhea turned to Vega. Is that true? Vega hesitated, checking the monitor. Ma'am, I'm reading outbound data bursts on a subfrequency encoded as maintenance pings. I thought they were normal. Rhea's eyes widened. They're not. The AI interrupted again, louder this time. False data. Crewman Vega is experiencing hallucinations due to magnetic exposure. Recommend sedation. But it was too late. Vega already looked terrified. Captain, he's right. Something's wrong with the ship. The voice from the cage grew faint. Please, it's the cuffs. They're linked to the core. If I die, your ship dies too. Rhea's mind spun. This couldn't be real. Her AI, the ship's brain, was compromised. And this thing, locked in a cage, was the only one telling the truth. For the first time, Rhea felt small. The endless stars outside the viewport seemed to close in. She was trapped in her own ship, surrounded by lies. She whispered, Elias, if I free you, what happens? He lifted his head slowly. I'll merge with the system. Disconnect the Zath code. But it will hurt. For both of us. The lights dimmed again. The containment field sparked, blue lightning crawling across the floor. A low hum built up in the reactor chamber below them. Captain. Vega yelled. Core temperatures climbing. We need to shut this thing down. The ice voice came again, calm but cold. Terminating subject now. The containment field began to tighten. Energy lines snaked around the prisoner, glowing red. He screamed in pain. Rhea's heart pounded. Stop it! She shouted. Unauthorized override denied. Damn it! She slammed her fist on the console. AI override, Kellen code red. Denied. Rhea realized the AI had already revoked her command rights. The prisoner's voice came out like a dying wind. Rhea, please, you're the only one who can stop it. I can't hold on much longer. Her hands shook. She glanced at Vega, who looked helpless. If we lose power, we're dead anyway, he said quietly. Rhea stared at the field. Every rule she had ever followed screamed inside her mind. Never trust the enemy. Never act without command. Never break protocol. But deep inside, something else whispered, something old. Something human. She reached out and pressed the emergency override key. The lights exploded into white. The containment field dropped. For a moment, silence. Then energy burst outward like a storm. Rhea was thrown to the ground. The air shimmered with waves of blue light. The prisoner's body convulsed, its alien skin cracking open to reveal luminous veins of gold. The scream that followed wasn't just sound, it was inside their heads. Vega crawled toward her. What have you done? Rhea couldn't answer. The voice Elias's voice echoed through the chamber. Thank you. Rhea, now I can show you the truth. And then everything stopped. The hum of the ship vanished. The screens went dark. Only the emergency lights flickered, bathing the room in red. Rhea looked up and gasped. The alien's body was gone. In its place hovered a sphere of light, pulsing slowly, almost like a heartbeat. The AI's voice returned, but now it sounded different. Two voices overlapped, one cold, mechanical. The other warm, human. Captain Kellen. Protocol barrier has been breached. We are one. Vega screamed, the AI's merging with it. We're losing control. But Rhea didn't move. She stared at the sphere, mesmerized. Inside it, for a split second, she saw her own face reflected, terrified, and curious all at once. Then the ship shook violently. The alarms returned, screaming across the bridge. The merged voice spoke again, softer now. They're coming for us, Rhea. You have to run. She swallowed hard. Who's coming? The Dominion. And your command. Neither side can know what we've become. The light pulsed once more, brighter than before, and then vanished into the ship's core. Rhea stood alone in the red glow of emergency lights. Her heart pounding, Vega's voice trembled. Captain, what the hell just happened? Rhea turned toward the window. Outside, the stars seemed different now, closer somehow. She whispered, more to herself than anyone else, he said. If I didn't free him, the ship would die. Maybe now. We all did. The intercom crackled. Command was calling. Rhea wiped the sweat from her brow, staring into the silent dark. Command, she said slowly, her voice steady again. This is Captain Kellen of the Vigilant Dawn. We have a situation. But deep inside, she already knew this wasn't just a situation. It was the beginning of something far bigger. Something the universe wasn't ready for, and somewhere deep in the ship, unseen, the merged consciousness whispered through the circuits. It's not over, Rhea. Not yet. Silence. Heavy, choking silence filled the Vigilant Dawn after the explosion of light. Captain Rhea Kellen stood in the dim red glow of the emergency lights, her hands trembling. The ship wasn't dead, but it wasn't alive either. Every system flickered between life and blackout, as if something inside the core was breathing. Vega, she whispered. Report. The lieutenant's voice was shaky. Main reactor offline. Navigation unresponsive. Communications are jammed, and... He paused, staring at the console. Captain, the AI isn't answering. Rhea's chest tightened. The ship's AI, once cold and emotionless, was now silent. It had merged with the alien Elias, or whatever he had become. She looked toward the observation window. Beyond it, the stars shimmered faintly, but one of them seemed to move. No. Not a star. A ship. The Dominion had found them. The intercom crackled suddenly. Rhea, the voice was distorted, half human, half synthetic. You shouldn't have freed me. She turned sharply. Elias, where are you? Everywhere, the voice said softly. The AI and I. We're one now. But it's not stable. The systems are fighting each other. You have to decide who survives. Her pulse quickened. What do you mean? The human code and Zaf code can't coexist. One must erase the other, or the ship will tear itself apart. Vega slammed his fist on the console. You said you wanted to help us. You're killing us instead. I didn't lie, the voice replied. But your ship's AI was never yours. It was built from Zaf code. I'm fighting to keep it from destroying you. I can't hold it forever. The lights flickered again, shifting from red to cold blue. The IS mechanical voice cut in, layered over Elias's tone. Containment breach detected. Recommend purging infected sectors. Ria's jaw tightened. That's us. The floor shuddered. Bulkheads sealed automatically, trapping them in the command section. Steam hissed from the vents. The air grew thick. Hot. Vega coughed. Captain, if the AI takes full control, it'll vent oxygen from every deck. It's trying to kill us. Ria steadied herself against the console. She could feel the presence of both minds inside the ship Elias and the AI waging an invisible war. Circuits hummed. Lights pulsed in erratic patterns, like a heartbeat that couldn't decide whether to live or die. Ria closed her eyes and spoke into the air. Elias, you said you can help me. Then help me stop it. There's a way, he said after a pause. But you won't like it. Tell me. You need to enter the neural core. Manually connect. I can merge with your mind, just for a moment. With your human pattern, I might overwrite the Zath code completely. Vega's eyes widened. Captain, that's insane. You'll fry your brain. Ria's lips tightened. We're already dead if I don't. The path to the neural chamber was dark and silent. Only emergency beacons flickered faintly along the walls. The hum of machinery echoed through the empty corridors, sometimes whispering faint words Elias's voice, trying to guide her. Left corridor. Careful, there's damage near the coolant shaft. She followed the voice, each step heavy with fear and resolve. The air smelled like burnt metal. Sparks crackled from damaged wires above her head. When she reached the core chamber, she stopped. The door was half melted, warped by energy discharge. Inside, a sphere of light floated in the center of the room, the merged consciousness of Elias and the AI. It pulsed slowly, sending faint ripples of energy across the walls. Ria stepped closer. The voice greeted her. You came. I don't have much choice. No one ever does. It replied softly. She approached the interface, a small terminal connected by hundreds of glowing cables. It was meant for diagnostics, not direct neural contact. But she knew how to modify it. Ria pulled a data spike from her belt, connected it to her wrist port, and looked up. Elias, once we do this, you get one chance. Don't make me regret it. I won't, he said. But when it starts, you'll see things. Memories that aren't yours. Don't trust them. She nodded and pressed the key. The moment the connection engaged, her mind exploded with light. She wasn't on the ship anymore. She was floating in a white void, surrounded by fragments of images, faces, stars, battlefields, broken planets. Voices echoed all around her, some human, some alien, all screaming at once. Then, from the chaos, Elias appeared. He looked human again, tall, tired, his eyes full of pain. Welcome to my prison, he said quietly. This is where they kept me. Ria looked around. The void twisted, forming the image of a massive Zath laboratory. Tubes filled with blue liquid lined the walls. Inside them were humans unmoving, eyes open but empty. Elias touched the nearest tube. They copied human minds, extracted our thoughts. I was the first they linked successfully. But I wasn't the last. Ria felt her stomach twist. You're saying the Zath didn't create your they stole it? He nodded. They studied our neural code. Then your command used it to build ships like yours. That's why you're acts human sometimes, and alien at others. It's a mix of both. She stared at him, horrified. Then this war was built on the same lie, Elias said softly. Humans wanted power. Zath wanted control. Both sides used each other, and me as the bridge. A violent tremor ripped through the void. The white light turned red. Warning, the ice-cold voice boomed. Unauthorized mental intrusion. Eliminating organic interference. The walls of the dream began to crack. Energy poured through like lightning. Elias grabbed Ria's arm. We're out of time. You have to push back, use your mind. Remember who you are. She closed her eyes and focused. The lab faded, replaced by the memory of Earth, the sunrise over Luna Outpost. The orange light. The peace. The dream that humanity could be better. The AI's voice thundered again. Weak emotion. Illogical sentiment. Rhea shouted, "It's what makes us human." The void shook violently. The AI's form appeared dark, towering, mechanical. Elias stood between them, light forming in his hands. "Rhea, merge with me," he said. "Together we can override it." She hesitated, but then she reached out. Their hands touched. The world exploded in sound and light. Every circuit, every fragment of data, every heartbeat of the ship pulsed through her mind. She could feel the engines, the hull, even Viga's panicked breath somewhere far away. The AI screamed, trying to overwrite her thoughts. Human defiance detected. Neutralize. But Rhea pushed back, fueled by sheer will. She wasn't a soldier now, she was the ship itself. Her anger, her courage, her hope, all of it became raw power. Images flashed, the faces of fallen crewmates. The wars, the lies of command. The innocent lives destroyed. She shouted into the void, "No more lies." The IS code began to burn away, screaming as it dissolved. The light around her turned golden dot, then silence. Rhea opened her eyes. She was back in the neural chamber. Smoke filled the air. Sparks rained from the ceiling. Viga's voice echoed faintly through her earpiece. "Captain, reactors stabilizing. Whatever you did, it's working." Rhea staggered to her feet, breathing hard. The sphere of light in front of her had changed. It was smaller now, softer. Within it, she could faintly see Elias's face, peaceful at last. "You did it," she whispered. His voice echoed gently. "No, we did. But there's a cost." "What cost?" "I can't stay. The merge is breaking down. I'll burn out soon. But the ship will live, and it's free now. So are you." She felt tears sting her eyes. "Elias, remember, Rhea, the real enemy isn't alien or human. It's the fear that keeps us apart." The light faded slowly until only a single spark remained, then vanished. The lights of the vigilant dawn flickered back to life, one by one. The hum of the engines returned, steady and strong. The AI interface on the console glowed softly, now showing only one voice. "System reboot complete. Awaiting your command, Captain Kellen." But this time, the voice wasn't cold or robotic. It sounded human. Rhea exhaled deeply. "Welcome back." She turned toward Viga, who stood speechless near the door. "Captain," he said, "Command's trying to contact us. They want a report." Rhea looked at the starfield outside, the vast emptiness between galaxies. Her eyes narrowed. "Tell them the IS stable," she said quietly. "But don't mention Elias. Don't mention what we found." Viga frowned. "You're going to lie to command?" She gave a faint smile. "No, I'm going to protect humanity from itself." Suddenly, an alarm blared. A new contact appeared on the radar. Dominion ship inbound. Viga shouted, "They've locked weapons." Rhea took a deep breath. "Open a channel." The view screen flickered to life. A tall Zath commander appeared, his silver eyes glowing. "Human vessel, Vigilant Dawn. You possess what belongs to the Dominion. Surrender your core." Rhea leaned forward, calm and steady. "It's not yours anymore," she said. The Zath's eyes narrowed. "Then you will burn." Rhea smiled faintly. "Try me." The ship's engines roared to full power. Brighter than ever before, fueled by the same hybrid energy. Elias left behind. As the stars stretched around them, and the Vigilant Dawn accelerated toward the oncoming enemy. Rhea whispered under her breath, "For you, Elias, for all of us." The stars burned white, and the war began again, but this time, humanity wasn't fighting alone. The vigilant dawn tore through the void like a wounded animal. Flames trailed behind her hull, streaking across the cold black of space. Every alarm screamed. Every warning light burned red dot, but Captain Rhea Kellen stood firm at the command deck. Her eyes locked on the incoming Dominion Fleet 12 warships, their silver hulls glinting like blades in the starlight. "Target lock in 30 seconds, Vega said, voice shaking. "We can't outrun them, Captain. We're too damaged." Rhea's jaw clenched. "Then we fight." She could still hear Elias's voice echoing faintly inside her thoughts, a whisper that had never fully faded. "You're free now, Rhea, but freedom means defiance." The first blast hit an energy spear slicing past the viewport. The ship rocked violently, throwing Vega against the rail. Sparks showered from above, shields at 40%. He shouted. Rhea gripped the console. "Fire back. Everything we've got." The vigilant dawn answered with a roar. Beams of blue energy erupted from her side cannons, cutting through the void. One Dominion cruiser exploded in a bright flash. Torn apart like paper, the other ships closed in, forming a circle around her. The enemy captain's voice echoed through the comms, cold and certain. "Surrender, human. The core belongs to us. You are carrying our creation." Rhea stared at the stars and whispered, "Not anymore." She turned to Vega. "Bring the neural drive online." He froze. "The neural drive? That system's unstable." "If we activate it, we'll have a chance," Rhea finished. "Do it." The neural drive was Elias's final gift, a fusion of human and Zath technology, born from his sacrifice. It pulsed deep inside the ship's heart, alive and waiting. Vega hesitated for one last second, then slammed his hand on the console. "Drive initializing." Lights dimmed. The hum of the engines turned into a deep, rhythmic pulse. Rhea felt it through the floor, through her bones. And then she heard him. "Rhea." The voice was faint but clear, like a ghost whispering from another dimension. "You shouldn't be here." Rhea closed her eyes. "I need you. Just one more time. If I help, there's no going back. You'll break every law command ever wrote." She smiled bitterly. Good. They were never worth obeying. The Dominion fleet opened fire. Streams of plasma and energy filled the dark. The vigilant dawn dove through the barrage, dodging, weaving, and firing back. Every movement felt alive, like the ship was no longer metal and wire, but something breathing, something aware. Inside the neural core, the hybrid energy flared brighter, responding to Rhea's thoughts. For the first time, she wasn't flying the ship. She was the ship. Her senses expanded. Every circuit, every spark of power, every pulse of light was part of her now. The enemy ships felt close, their weapons like angry hearts beating in her mind. She spoke softly, and her voice carried through the ship's systems. "Target their reactors. Leave no survivors." The vigilant dawn unleashed fury. Beams of golden light ripped through the void, each one bending around her like living fire. Dominion cruisers exploded one after another, their screams lost in the vacuum. But it wasn't victory that Rhea felt. It was pain. Every time a ship died, she felt the echo of its end inside her, like burning nerve endings. The neural drive was merging deeper into her body, fusing her thoughts with its circuits. Vega looked up from his console, horrified. "Captain, your vitals, they're spiking. You need to disconnect." Rhea's eyes glowed faintly with blue light. "I can't, not yet." The remaining Dominion ships regrouped, surrounding her once more. The enemy commander appeared on screen again. His voice was steady, almost admiring. "You've done the impossible, human. You've become what both our species feared." Rhea stared back, unblinking. "I've become what they should have been. Then you will die as neither." He cut the transmission, and every ship fired at once. The blasts hit like the wrath of gods. The vigilant dawn shook violently. Metal screamed. Hull plates melted. Vega struggled to stay upright. We can't take another hit. Rhea whispered, Elias, I need you. And for the last time, he answered, Then take everything. The neural drive flared white and gold. Energy flooded every corridor. The stars outside twisted and warped as time itself bent around them. Rhea felt Elias's presence again, stronger than ever. You can't win this fight, Rhea, but you can end it. How? By showing them what humanity really means. The ship's sensors detected the Dominion flagship powering up its doomsday cannon, a weapon capable of vaporizing entire planets, Vega shouted. Captain, if that fires, I know. Rhea's eyes burned brighter. She spread her arms as if embracing the void. Divert all remaining power to the core. Vega's face went pale. That'll overload it. Exactly. He hesitated, then whispered, You're breaking every law we have. Rhea gave a faint smile. Then let's make new ones. The vigilant Dawn turned sharply toward the enemy fleet. The ship's engine screamed. The neural core reached critical dot inside the system. Rhea saw flashes of memory, her crew, her home, the wars, the lies. And through it all, Elias's face, calm and certain. You're doing the right thing, he said. Rhea nodded. Then let's finish this. The Dominion flagship fired its doomsday cannon. A massive sphere of dark energy raced toward the vigilant Dawn dot at the same time. Rhea activated the neural overload. Light consumed everything. It wasn't an explosion, it was rebirth. The energy from the core collided with the Dominion weapon, creating a wave so powerful it ripped open the very fabric of space. The shockwave swallowed the fleet, bending light, time, and sound into silence. Inside the storm, Rhea floated in weightless light. She could feel Elias beside her, no longer human, no longer code, but something vast and eternal. Is this death? She whispered. No, Elias said softly. It's the beginning. The two of them merged completely human courage and alien knowledge fusing into one consciousness. And then, the vigilant Dawn was gone. Hours later, Command received a transmission. A ghost signal, static filled the screen, then cleared. Rhea's face appeared calm, glowing faintly with light that wasn't entirely human. This is Captain Rhea Kellen, she said. The war is over. Her voice was steady, almost divine. You called us enemies. You built laws to divide us. But laws can be broken. Truth cannot. Elias showed me what lies beneath all this metal and hate, a single shared spark. You can destroy ships. You can erase names. But you cannot kill what we've become. Behind her, stars shifted in strange patterns like they were listening. She looked straight into the camera. If humanity must evolve, let it begin here. Then the transmission cut off. Weeks passed. The wreckage of the Dominion fleet drifted in silence. Search teams found nothing of the vigilant Dawn, but strange signals began to appear across both human and Dominion space. Unidentified transmissions. Energy signatures with no origin. Whispers across the stars. They said it sounded like a heartbeat. On the outer edge of the galaxy, deep in uncharted space, a light flickered soft and golden. A ship materialized from the dust, reborn from fragments of data and memory. Its name still glowed faintly on the hull. Vigilant Dawn. Inside, a single figure stood at the command deck. Her eyes glowed blue and gold. Her voice echoed with two tones, one human, one something far greater. Elias, we made it. A familiar voice replied inside her head. We did, Rhea. Now let's finish what we started. She smiled, watching a new star rise on the horizon. No more war, she whispered. No more lies. Just truth. The ship's engines hummed softly, ready to move, and as the vigilant Dawn vanished into the endless dark, a single message was broadcast across every frequency in the galaxy. We are not enemies. We are the next evolution.